Today is an exciting day. Walking into the room, signifying the text message already, signifying another one already, signifying the start. The 3 in a row. Crikey, wow, that's fine. Anyway, so walking into the room, signifying the start of a video. Now, today we are looking at Captain plugins, these guys here. And to prove how much I love these things, take a look at this. Because I have so many plugins, I actually have a favorites collection, the things I use most often. And you can see Captain Chords has made the list. Yes, it's brilliant. It's very, very good. Right. What does it do? These plugins by the Mixed In Key guys allow you to write MIDI. Use Captain Chords to write some chords, choose a complexity, choose a rhythm, and so on and so on. And then use Captain Deep and or Captain Melody to write your bass line and or melody in key with those chords you wrote. These plugins talk to each other, they interact. The plugins talk to each other so the bass line and melody work with the chords. And you can even change how they interact. However, I want to show you Captain Play. First of all, choose a key and scale, say G major. Make it bigger, that's what she said. Then Captain Play, choose a sound. Note, you can route this out to a VST, so you can have Serum or your favorite synth making the noises. However, there are tons to choose from here, so I could choose this guy. Oh, missed. You've got to click in the right place. That's part of the rules. Okay, now. Here's there's 2 levels of magic here. Here's the first level of magic. This is the keyboard and this is the keyboard down here. So what you'll find is each of these letters or numbers, so there's these numbers and these letters, each of these is a chord in the scale, or key and scale, G major. One note. Chord. Common chords, other chords, extra chords, all sorts of chords. Down an octave. Ooh. Okay, yeah. Insight. The reason this is good is it allows me to focus on the creativity and the emotion and not spend all my time worrying about music theory. I can simply choose a scale or choose a key and scale, then drop my fingers on the keyboard, this type of keyboard. It's a different type of keyboard. Drop your fingers on this keyboard here. That dead mouse, melancholic emotions. Perfect. So I figured it out by playing around, just simply dropping my fingers and pressing away, seeing how I feel. Then what I can do, well, there's 2 ways you can do this. So you see there's that record bit down there. So I am pretty bad at playing in live, but that's okay because you can of course fix it afterwards. Hit space to record and then play. There it is. Easy. Drag and drop, ping, fix it up if need be, just like Ableton's Capture or Ableton Live 10's Capture. Easy peasy. Favorite thing number 2 is the range of different chords available. As different chords give different emotions and feelings, and so it's very, very fast to create all kinds of different emotions that you wouldn't be able to do or wouldn't think to do if you're just sort of dropping your fingers on a normal keyboard. Let me show you. So what you do is, again, choose a key and scale. So A flat. My name's Adam, so we'll go for A and major. A major. Again, make it big. Just because YOLO. Choose a sound. I like this wind pluck. Of course, there are many sounds here. You can choose any of the sounds you like. Or VST, remember, then. Now, I personally, when I'm trying to create an emotion, I'm very impatient. So I like to make a 2-bar chord progression and then extend it if need be. That's just my impatience. But of course, you can make it as long or as short as you want. Now, you can either add in additional chords with a little plus there, or you can actually split an existing chord using the split button and drag it about so you can change when the chord change happens. That's a easy peasy drag about. That didn't rhyme, but that's okay. So then you can change the chord. Now, I'm a big fan of increasing the complexity. Again, this is just things I personally love. I like to increase the complexity. So that adds in more notes, as you can see. Oh, you can even hear it too. That's good. Increase the complexity if you like. That's how I like to do it. Ooh. Now, I personally like to do the timing before the different chords. So I double check timing. Sweet. First chord change happening on the offbeat. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to have a chord change happening on an offbeat. So that would be beat 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first chord change is happening on the offbeat in between beat 2 and 3. Cool. Now you can simply try different chords. You got all these chords up here. You can mess about with the flavor and the inversion type. So now I'm sure if you're a music person, you can actually use music theory to choose these things. But I just go based on feeling and emotion. So I said that I like the second and the third chords, but the timing different. Bring it forward. If in doubt, just click around random. That sounds like I'm messing about. Ooh. This illustrates my point perfectly. These chords are less common and therefore evoke a different and less common, more unique emotion than your normal 1-3-5. These chords to me are more creatively and emotionally interesting and pleasing than your normal 1-3-5 major triad. They're less usual and that makes it nicer. It's the sort of thing I couldn't do if I didn't have this. Oh, I just really like it. It basically allows me to experiment with chords I simply couldn't create in any other way. And then because this syncs up with Captain Deep Say and Captain Melody, I could then very easily put on a melody or a bass line. So in the case of, say, a bass, it's very typical to have the root note of a chord as the bass line. So the note, so a bass line is generally not a chord. A bass line is typically one note. And so it generally speaking sounds best. I shouldn't say always, as of course it's music, you can do anything you like, but generally speaking, the bass line will be the root note of a chord. Now, if you have a normal 1-3-5 major triad chord, for example, that's typically pretty easy. It's just the lowest of the 3 notes. But when you start doing inversions and stuff, which, as you can see here, I have done, or the software has done, because it's beyond my understanding of music theory. It's beyond my understanding of music theory. Then I couldn't really very easily tell you. In fact, if you just laid out those notes in the piano roll, I personally couldn't tell you what the root note of that chord is. And therefore, the only way I could myself, without this software, find the root is tons of trial and error, and then sometimes getting it wrong. So the cool thing about this is, of course, then because this syncs to Captain Deep will talk to this, and because therefore it knows the root, it will give me the bass line, the sub bass, if you like, the bass line, the sub bass. It will give me exactly the correct notes, which is cool. Of course, very, very cool. And you can just drag and drop it in, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Look at that. Instant amazing. And that's the sort of way out of the scope of the music theory I know. And that is why I love it so much. So good. Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting to me. But I'm sure, words. It's really exciting when something gives you a way to make music and ideas that you simply can't make in any other way, and you haven't been able to do in the past. And so that's why Captain Chords in particular has made it into my favorites. Captain Chords. The Captain plugins. As I say, I love it. And in this video, I told you my 2 most favoritist 2 things I absolutely love. Chair squeaking around today. That's totally coolies. Totally coolies. My name has been Multiplies. Oh, and presumably there will be a link below or something. I'm sure I can put that in. If you like what you've seen, maybe you're intrigued, maybe you want to see all the features in the link below. But as I say, one of the really cool things that's really important not to overlook here, I've said really, say really less many times. And remember, because of course I know lots of you do love VSTs as much as I do and tend to use them almost exclusively. You can sync, or not sync, you can link this into your favorite VST. So you could say combine Serum and Captain Chords or anything. Oh, in fact, Diva, there it is. I was just going to click it. So your Captain Chords or Melody or Deep and or you could have all of them make the noise from the synthesizer. So that's, if you follow me regularly, you know I get lots of plugins to check out. And I mean, you've seen my plugin list. It's pretty bananas. It's exciting when one is, for it to appear in that list is seriously good. I mean, I should also probably clarify what I really mean in this collection is my favorite plugins that I also use the most. Because I mean, Diva's a prime example. I would definitely say Diva's one of my favorite top 5, top 6 or 7 plugins I have, but I don't use it as often. So even though it's one of my favorite, I don't use it anywhere near as often. So these are my favorites that I also use an awful lot. That's the favorites category. My name has been Multiplier, and I will catch you guys on the flippity flip.